I'm Katie Hill, former member of Congress from California's 25th Congressional District, one of the youngest women ever elected to Congress, and I was forced to resign due to image-based sexual abuse. The closeness of the campaign and all the things that are going on led to it, but I ended up having a relationship with somebody who worked for me.
She engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a young campaign staffer.
I didn't understand the power dynamics then. I never once felt like I'm trying to get her to do something. I thought that he would tell people about the relationship that I had with the person who worked for me. And I also thought that he cared about her enough that he wouldn't want to do that to her.
Her ex-husband was aware of that relationship at the time and was part of it, and as such had documentation that later was believed to have been potentially leaked by him.
I was in a staff meeting with my chief of staff and I think my legislative director, and then all of a sudden my comms director came running in and is like, oh my God, you have to see this. I didn't know that these photos existed, but, and you can see in most of the photos, I'm not looking at the camera. Everybody knew.
These photos, some of them depicted her in various states of undress. A lot of them she was nude, and they also showed her interacting with the individual that she was tied to who worked on her campaign. And again, you know, they were nude in some of these photos or various states of undress.
I did not know he had the images that he had. Those were taken without my knowledge. There's one that I was looking, but I thought that my ex was just playing on his phone. And so I was just kind of being silly or whatever, but I didn't have any idea that he was taking a picture. And so when they came out, I was like, holy. The journalist who published them in Red State, which is a right-wing blog, had previously been a campaign manager for my Republican opponent. I guess what took me by surprise the most when the photos actually came out was I knew that Kenny was still so vengeful at that point, but I didn't think that a publication would actually give that traction, and yeah, they sure did. You kind of go into crisis mode of damage control and trying to figure out what to do.
They were in a relationship. She was allowed to be in our family. We all did say it was a bad idea. Especially since it was quote-unquote position of power and such a taboo thing like a polyamorous relationship. I just had a feeling that it could blow up. And despite it being fully consensual and a committed relationship and everything else, I just knew it wouldn't be perceived well.
I am deeply regretful for what she's been through because of this and how she was exposed during the scandal. Kenny was liberal too, definitely. He was, and he genuinely, I think, believed in a lot of the same things that I did. So I guess I didn't really expect him to collaborate with, and to be clear, he still denies this. He does. But I know what happened.
It was wild. And yeah, she was horribly embarrassed. We all know that everyone we know has seen her naked. My dad, he was a lieutenant at the time, became a captain. All of his coworkers saw her naked. Everyone you know has seen your daughter naked. I can't fathom that.
They were all over Twitter. They were all over social media.
And the internet was still so cruel. There was not even a day of break of the relentless attacks on her.
I was genuinely suicidal, and after that, I decided I needed to step down. This wasn't something that I could continue to go through, and so I called Nancy Pelosi to tell her first, and she tried to talk me out of it, and she even called me back a little later and said, even if you just decide not to run for re-election, you just stay on for the rest of the term. But she really didn't. She didn't want me to step down. It was important to me to give a meaningful resignation speech. And so it kind of took everything I had to to write that. I wanted to write it myself.
I no longer want to be used as a bargaining chip. I'm leaving because I didn't want to be peddled by papers and blogs and websites used by shameless operatives for the dirtiest gutter politics that I've ever seen.
And I am proud of the fact that I was able to stand up on the House floor and give that last speech.
I'm leaving because of a misogynistic culture that gleefully consumed my naked pictures, capitalized on my sexuality, and enabled my abusive ex to continue that abuse, this time with the entire country watching.